Are you ready to rumble?
Yeah.
Watch us rock the mic. Watch us rock the mic. Hello and welcome to Tangerine, and this week we're going to be talking about all of the VR games I've played. Ever. No, not ever, but
in that'd be quite the prank.
I've been trying to get Tony to record Tangerines with me for quite a while, and well, that's not fair. I keep playing another game instead of recording Tangerine, so I've just amassed this giant pile of games that I've played but haven't talked about for the past 6 months.
Yeah. It's
So
been a while.
here's like most of the VR games I've been playing. Some I played and I didn't have footage of because they wouldn't work in this format. But I can kind of talk about those as we go through maybe. So the first game up is Budget Cuts 2. I've talked about Budget Cuts. I think I talked about Budget Cuts in a Steam Demo Festival. I was just talking about VR games, so I was like, I also played Budget Cuts 1 again, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is Budget Cuts 2, it's the sequel. There's some differences between them, but it's mostly more of the same, I would say. As I've talked
Just
about
more levels.
As I've talked about before, my favorite thing in VR is to be a secret agent, as you may or may not know from my love of I Expect You to Die and Budget Cuts. So, yeah, this game's really good. You will have to get used to kind of the old 2016 style of like VR, where it's full teleportation. You're kind of switching
There's no
around
smooth
guns.
locomotion.
I don't think. I think there's maybe like a. There's like a maybe like a mode in this one to use it, but I'm not quite sure. I think it's most. I think Budget Cuts is pretty much designed for teleportation, and it
Right.
makes sense based on the entire game is. You use a teleportation gun, you shoot, you can see what's ahead of you,
Yeah,
and then
it's
you
kind of
teleport
like its
through it.
thing, right? Yeah.
Like the game's designed around a teleportation gun. Like I remember when this originally came out, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like what a Portal game might look like in VR. It's essentially a
Yeah, I
Portal
guess
gun.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Portal 2,
I just
didn't
feel
pound,
there's the
guys.
mouse on screen. It's really throwing me.
Tony, don't every time I record a VR game, at some point, hang on, let me hold hands with the mouse. At some point,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave my mouse on the screen. Also, my mouse is bigger on this display because I'm playing in 14. No, I'm not playing in 40p, right? Am I? Whatever display. Yeah, because it's on my screen, so it's probably in like
Yeah.
1440p. But I record in 1080p, which is why it's
Right,
bigger
right.
than my
I
mouse
don't
right
understand.
now.
Like, I don't think it should be up to you to remember to move your mouse. Why can't you just hide your mouse if you're hovering over it? Like, there are many applications that can do that.
Hmm.
It'd be
It
very
feels
useful.
like so the difference is with so but okay, I should go into what Budget Cuts in case you've never played Budget Cuts. Budget Cuts is basically a stealth VR game with very cartoony like robots, like Portal, basically like Aperture Science Portal style, like
Yeah.
silly like futuristic robots. And the idea is that you're a human working at a robot company, and at some point someone starts to track you down for some reason that you don't know, and then you get communicated over a phone with, and you find out there's this plot to try and kill you, and you have to use this spy technology to escape. And it's the entire thing's set in the like one building, right?
Yeah.
Budget Cuts 2 is like it's like way bigger picture sort of thing. Like it starts on a
You're
train.
safe.
Yeah, so at the end of Budget Cuts 1, spoiler alert, you go onto a train. So Budget Cuts 2 picks up from the end of Budget Cuts 2. In Budget Cuts 1, there's even like there's almost what I would describe a horror section where there's like a fucking evil robot tracking you down and you have to like hide in vents and stuff.
Okay. Like a
Um,
alien isolation sort of thing.
mm.
That, that's
Um,
interesting.
But yeah, so like you go on the train. I haven't finished the full game yet because I had like a session playing it, and then like I stopped playing VR for a while because of the changing weather, but I also had some like some back issues where I had to like rest my back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really, I don't know if you know right now, Tony, but it's pretty fucking warm in the UK right now.
In the British Isles, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw a post on like one of the VR websites, and it was like, man, Steam Stats says that you are not allowed to. Sorry, the Steam Stats say that the VR users have gone down this month, and I'm like, maybe because it's fucking summer and no one's playing VR.
Yeah. Oh god. Get out of there.
It's over. I'm dead.
Well, nice try.
GG.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some people that have like perfectly vented rooms, like big enough to hold VR and have ventilation and ACs but I think that's next level. I think that's the future.
So yeah, so I've played I've pretty much played like the first 2 levels of this game. Like on Tangerine, it's not a review, so sometimes I don't play through the entire game, but I just give my thoughts on what I've played so far. So far it's been pretty fun. The first mission's sort of like a tutorial mission getting you back in. You have to basically you find yourself on this train and you find there's a bomb on the train, and then you have to find a way to defuse the bomb. That's kind of the major MacGuffins of it.
Yeah. The thing to get you moving from A to B, I guess.
It is pretty much more of the same. It feels a lot like the base mechanic is pretty much just Budget Cuts 1 again, but when I played Budget Cuts 1 again, they did upgrade Budget Cuts from like the original 2016 version. It had some issues, but then they did like a fairly extensive, very good like upgrade to the original Budget Cuts to get it more in line with like this game, or like what this game is now, like before this game came out, sort of thing. Which made the first Budget Cuts definitely like still worth playing. I still love these robots have the system of that, boop, 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 and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna shoot you. I knocked him over with a cup. I love that. I love the ability to just interact with robots in this game, especially the non-hostile robots. Yeah, get through this door.
Does it like make the world feel more alive in a way? Like they're not. I don't know.
My favorite thing to do is that I instinctively wave at like the friendly robots, and they wave back.
Oh, do they?
That way, I'll try and find interaction with just like a neutral robot. It's amazing how like lifelike they can feel. Hang on.
Oh yeah, I just saw it.
I was just going through the different rooms. I'm like, because they don't. Hello. They'll wave at you, and you can murder them as well, and it doesn't mean anything. That's I feel terrible every time I murder these. Like they literally are like, "Hello, I love you." Like, "Hello, good to see you," and then you like fucking. They'll wave at you, and then you can just indiscriminately murder them, and there's no penalty for doing that. There's no like game over state for murdering civilians.
The authorities are already trying to get you, so what's going to happen?
But it's like, I remember I was streaming this once to a friend, and I mentioned the first Budget Cuts, and I just started going around murdering these innocent robots, and he was like, "You're such a terrible person. Like these poor robots. Like, it's just how like human they can feel when you like see it in VR."
I really like these robots, though. They are really cool.
So I'll skip ahead a bit so I can talk about some new stuff, because this is mostly more of the same. Just trying to figure out. So you unscrew this thing.
Oops.
You need to get rid of the bomb. Mission completed.
I think that's how all bomber.
Bomb defused. Yeah. And that's the first mission. You kind of like. There's me dancing. I like to do dancing, and especially when I'm in a loading screen. I'm always like to do a quick dance when I'm in VR.
You don't want to lose the momentum.
You got to keep limber. You got to keep limber. Yeah, it's very important. It's very important.
They need like kind of like a little like not like a competitive thing, but like a little like Beat Saber-esque mini game in the loading screens. That's what you.
Here's something interesting. Like you don't immediately get killed with the guards as long as you stay on like this track, because as you say here, they don't know who you are here. But you can't take weapons through.
Like I said, we're heading to the motherboard of
Put
the
it
post
away.
optimizer. There should be a large door just straight ahead.
But I think what I do here is I like
Boost through the efficiency
teleport
tree,
through the security door so I don't trigger it with all my stuff.
it shouldn't be
Or
too
maybe I just murder him while no one can see it. Yeah, nobody can see me, so I'm fine.
right.
Just stick along the path and the robots won't deal you no mind.
They won't wait. No, they won't.
They don't. This chef will wave up here. I tried to eat all these tacos because you can eat items in the game. I tried to eat all these tacos to see if there's an achievement, guys. There's no achievement for eating every single taco. I can tell you now. I tried, guys. I tried.
You missed one, I think.
Yeah, I must have missed one. Hey, chef.
He can't believe it though.
Hoping he make me more
Oh my
tacos
God.
to eat. The double taco technique.
Never seen it before.
It's never been done before. He's waving at me. There's cookies as well to destroy.
It's like, what the hell is this human doing? Alright, I'm just
But
waiting
let's
here.
get to the offices. The new stuff is you get a bow and arrow in this game. That's like one of the major new things is you get a new weapon to take out. Because the major thing was you were pretty much melee only a lot of the time. You could kind of throw the knives at the enemies. But you were pretty much... You had to kind of get behind them and kind of throw the knives at melee range to actually land them. And I want to say, hey, there's a new bow and arrow in this one that makes it super easy to take out enemies from range. I found the bow and arrow in this game really fucking hard to use, like to a point where it felt like it wasn't that useful. I don't know if it's just me, but I found like this bow and arrow, sorry, was just not that useful for me, sadly.
It wasn't just an issue of it's not like too realistic for me. It's just weirdly implemented.
Yeah. I did feel like I got a little bit lost sometimes, especially in the first game. I don't know if that got addressed in the second game. That was something that was kind of annoying. But I think if were a fan of Budget Cuts 1, from what I can tell, it's probably something you will enjoy. It's just more of the same, but yeah.
Yeah.
With some extra
It's still
goodies
good
added
fun,
on.
so
Yeah. So let's move on to the next game. I need to remember to mute because I don't have audio for this one. Oh, Tony, it's the best game of all time. Can't wait to talk about this. It's Half-Life Alyx.
okay.
So we're going to do another Tangerine on Half-Life Alyx because Half-Life Alyx is the best game of all time. This is the amazing Bioshock mod for Half-Life Alyx. Some genius called, his name is Wim by Taert 1988. He made the amazing Resident Evil Alyx Biohazard mod. He made the Lost Case custom mod. He's made a full campaign-length game version of Bioshock. It's like 7 chapters long. And I got...
Okay.
Oh, no, it's like 8 chapters. It's amazing. It's so good. Like, being in Rapture in VR is an experience I never knew I wanted until I was here.
Oh, really? I thought it was like that'd be a really cool experience to be in. That sounds. Yeah, it's just like Rapture VR sounds amazing.
And what's even more like amazing about the experience is the fact that this guy built this amazing experience, and we don't even have the full modding tools for Half-Life Alyx still. They're still working on the shitty, like, broken tools that Valve gave out for Half-Life Alyx. And
oh my god, it looks so good. Look at that. I'm seeing it through a blue haze. Can't.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
It's the bathysphere. As someone who's a huge fan of Bioshock,
God.
this is just like two of my favorite games just clumped together, and I'm just like, yes, Bioshock and Half-Life Alyx, let's fucking go. I love Rapture. It's such a great setting, especially when they went back to Rapture and Burial at Sea and the Bioshock Infinite DLC.
Yeah.
I thought this was really smart. He uses the Vita Chamber as basically just checkpoints. So when you go into the Vita Chambers, it saves your game, which I thought was pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay.
That was a
Yeah,
good
that's
idea.
really good.
And then you do, of course, the tensor puzzle in order to unlock the Vita Chambers. That's a way to
Oh,
get that into there.
okay. Yeah. Yes,
Which is pretty cool.
you have to work. You have to work for it.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, I don't have crazy stuff to say for this. Chapter 5 is fucking terrifying. I don't have footage of it, but if you're someone who's like... I've said Half-Life Alyx is a horror game because of how terrifying it is, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the first Bioshock, but there is a section...
Vaguely.
There's a section in the first Bioshock where there's basically like this... There's this section where there's like a splicer who's like a ghost, and it's like a super terrifying section. And yeah, it's fucking terrifying in VR. I cannot stress enough. If you are someone of a weak disposition, go from chapter 4 to chapter 6, because I think it's almost like straight up like a VR horror game, like chapter 5 of this. So. I mean, like, games like Bioshock or, like, immersive sims, like System Shock, Prey, like, these games always have featured, like, heavy horror elements in them, I would say.
Yeah. There's always been something that's terrifying.
Which is... It's weird. It's weird to say, like, what is and isn't, like, a feature of an immersive sim, because it's not really a genre, it's more like a style of game, I would say.
Well, I would say it's a mechanical framework. Like for example, I would argue there are certain mechanics that were only really found in RPGs, which I think are now found everywhere. Like I feel like that's kind of a similar thing, but it doesn't have a good name yet.
Yeah, I still like using the word immersive sim because it gives people quick information about the sort of thing I'm talking about.
It's not a genre, but you can say like it has immersive sim features. So
it's a shock type game. It's the first in the shock type game genre.
Yeah. It's a creepy poster.
That's what's his name? Sander Cohen.
Oh, is it?
He's like a big character in Bioshock. He's like,
yeah.
I believe is it Sander Cohen? I think that's his name. Like, he's like a very theatrical big dude. He wears like a bunny mask all the time. He gets you to like... I think his quest in the Bioshock is he makes you go around and murder people in like unique ways and then take photos of them. Like, he's an artist.
Right.
He's like the Salvador Dali of the Bioshock universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Scout from TF2
Oh, so the way that resin works in this mod is because the big challenges with custom content in Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx is set up so it's a really long story campaign where you get resin slowly over the entirety of the game. So a lot of like custom maps, they can be quite short. It can be like one map. How do you take the idea of upgrading weapons and then also allowing the player to get resin without just either giving them tons of resin or just giving them already upgraded guns, right?
Yeah, big challenge.
So an interesting way this does it is, because in the original Bioshock you would just go through the trash, right, and you would find cash, and then you would go to a vending machine, and then you would spend that cash on like plasmid upgrades and stuff. The way this does that is its take on that is you pick up trash. You put it into a vending machine, like the actual physical trash props, and then that converts that into the resin, which is used to upgrade your weapons. So I think that's a really cool way to do it while keeping it like faithful to Bioshock, but also putting it into the Half-Life Alyx universe sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. Let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. I always felt like when I was playing Half-Life Alyx, I much preferred fighting the zombies rather than the Combine.
Yeah, I can see that.
The Combine fights are definitely a lot harder. The reason they start you with zombies is they said like they wanted an enemy that can't attack you from range and slowly comes towards you, to teach you how to play, whereas the Combine will just run at you and they're going to attack you from range and stuff.
I noticed that the Combine weren't really searching for you as much, and I realize this is a custom map, but they weren't really searching for you in the same way. I guess that's to also make it slightly easier. And
Yeah.
they weren't running up the stairs, I guess. 'Cause that'd be like, I don't know. I think I'd be terrified. Like, I wouldn't know what to do, but I'm not. I'm not a VR pro, so.
But yeah, this is so well made, and if you've
Okay.
played through Half-Life Alyx and you're like, I fucking love this game, I want to play more, like everyone is, you can play the piano, guys. You can play the
Not in
piano
the summer,
Half-Life.
but
Yeah, well, I didn't play this in the summer, so if you want to play more Half-Life Alyx, the workshop's a really great place, even with the restrictions on like what you can do with the edit tool. There's super talented people like Wim, who's made this, so huge shout out to him. Check out all of his workshop mods, and I'd highly recommend the Bioshock Half-Life Alyx mod. And no matter how many times I play Half-Life Alyx, I always go in and smash bottles for like 30 minutes because it's just really
right.
fun.
Okay.
Alright, next up we have... this one is such an underrated VR game that I'm so surprised how good it is, given like how little effort I thought would be put into it by the creators. This is LA Noire VR.
Okay.
And I gotta say, it's really fucking good. I think this is one of my favorite VR games of all time. LA Noire, the VR case files, is so good. Like, really good. Like, I think it's criminally underrated. I feel like not a lot of people know about this game. Or at least know how good it is.
Is the main game.
Yeah, so basically what they do is if you haven't played the original MMO, you have, they take 6 case files and then they make them specifically to work in VR sort of thing. So that's how they got around it, because they couldn't make the whole game in VR because that would be like a massive undertaking to recreate the entire game in VR. But they do like make fully VR interactable content from 6 case files, and those 6 case files are really good. Yeah, just like pissing about in like the main menu and stuff like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like the actual main game, but yeah, I could like considering like a lot of the normal game is like trying to like immerse you, but I could see this being like even better at that.
One thing I will say,
wasn't this the one that the weird control scheme?
it has a really weird smooth locomotion that I actually really like. It's got like the Gorn sort of one, but it's different. With the Gorn one, the Gorn one, you're like skiing movement where you grab the air in front of you. This one, you just kind of move your arms up and down to move. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious, especially if you're watching somebody else doing it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's kind of comical, but I can see that working actually. So I guess like your body, like your brain's like, oh, you're moving. It's like you're moving your arms, right?
And you're thinking, okay, so it's LA Noire in VR. Basically, you go to a crime scene, you go and you investigate it, you find like a suspicious object. That's the whole game. No, it's the full game in VR, dude. You go to a crime scene, you investigate it, you drive around. You can drive around the entire city in VR. It's amazing. It has full driving mechanics.
That in of itself is like really.
You can chase suspects. You have full VR hand track fist fights with the suspects. Like it's a boxing game. There's PSVR content as well. That was exclusive to PSVR version that has been added to this. That doesn't exist in the main LA Noire game. There's basically a full-on boxing mode where you get to box all of the main characters of LA Noire. And there's a racing mode where you get to go-kart racing with like early go-karts. I played both of those and they were... Oh, and there's a shooting gallery as well that's really cool. I like the final boss of... it's really fun because when you play through the missions you get to see all the different partners you have, and some of the partners really piss me off, and I'm like, right, I'm going to the boxing ring to go and punch him in the face. It's the only place you can punch the captain in the face.
Your captain is a piece of shit.
Watch your head. This hump will be back in the Iron Hotel by tomorrow night.
I'm clapping.
You run track in high school?
So if you know, if you don't know, I guess this game definitely has kind of spoilers for the main LA Noire game because you basically
the same case file, the case files are the same from the main game, and yeah.
Yeah. But like the first case file is like one of the first missions, and the last case file is the last case file of LA Noire, the game.
Right.
And I would say one of the confusing things is there's 6 case files, and it like skips in time. So it's a little confusing to keep up with the story, because I basically hadn't really played LA Noire. Like I played a tiny bit of it before, but not really got any far. So my first experience of LA Noire was in LA Noire VR, so maybe that's why I love it so much. Maybe that's the best way to experience it, because you get to experience these cases for the first time inside virtual reality.
What's your opinion on the Uncanny Valley facial animations?
I think the facial animations are amazing for the time. It makes it so much more immersive, especially in VR. It's such a good feature for VR.
14 Adam.
It's massively it massively like triggers my Uncanny Valley, but I still don't think it's a bad thing. I do think it's a good thing. I know it got memed a lot on when it first came out, but I really like it.
That's one thing, because I was standing up playing this. One of the weirdest things is driving a car while standing up in VR.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Because like I'm fully standing up and I'm just
hands off the wheel.
I'm like I'm physically moving my hands left and right like I'm steering a wheel in real time.
Oh my god.
At first I was like, okay, when I first started doing this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get really motion sick playing this. I think, no, I didn't get motion sick at all playing this game. That was one of the most like surprising things to me.
Is that because you're so used to VR now? Do you think?
Yeah, so I don't know if LA Noire just does a really good job with their unique smooth locomotion system, and their driving mechanics are actually pretty good. Like a really cool thing about driving is you can crash, but if you crash, your screen immediately goes black to stop you from getting sick, and it doesn't do any damage to your car. You're basically like, your car's like a roller coaster, right?
I would say the thing with the car, I guess, is like you're already not moving in a car. You can feel that moving, but not in the same way. So it's probably easier to get adjusted to.
So you can go into full gun shootouts. Like one of the things that really disappointed me about GTA 5 when they added the first person mode after the game had been so successful was the fact that if you tried to play the gunfights in first person, it just didn't work. The game was completely designed to be to use the cover system and to fight people in third person, to a point where a lot of the game was like the shooting in the game was impossible to play in first person, which really disappointed me. The shooting in LA Noire is so good. Like it feels like it was designed for it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe they have full like motion tracked gun shootouts in VR in like a game this old.
Weapons on the ground now.
Because at the moment, like I'm quickly going through a lot of like, but these are like the tutorial missions. And that guy just got that guy. I'm a police officer. That guy just got justiced.
Right. Oh my god, he's indestructible. Oh no, he's not. Okay, fine.
Okay, so this is it. You know, remember us complaining about the paranormal detective, the paranormal detective game. It was hard to reach things with the goal. Dedicated crouch button. It is not hard to do. If people don't like using a dedicated crouch button, they don't have to use it. But I like using a dedicated crouch button.
Choices. Is there a crouch button? I'm not cover button.
You basically teleport to cover, sort of thing. Because there's teleportation and smooth locomotion. But I'm just choosing to use smooth locomotion because it's fun. It's just genuinely fun to walk around with the smooth locomotion and LA Noire. Because I believe this is actually based... Because I think they remastered LA Noire like... I want to say like not that long ago. LA Noire remastered. 2017? They remastered LA Noire?
It came out quite a while before that, didn't it?
Yeah, I think LA Noire came out in like 2014.
Yeah. If not before then.
Let me look it up. Oh, sorry, 2011. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say something.
Immediately, I said 2014 and I immediately thought, wait, Dishonored came out in 2014. There's no way.
Yeah.
God. Feels like so long ago. But yeah, it was remastered. And then there was also, I think, the VR version came out in like around 2013. And I believe that, you know, we want to hear the really amazing thing about this VR port. Because you look at this and you go, okay, Rockstar's a huge fucking company. They must just... To get a VR game this good, they must have, like, had a massive team working on it. No, they outsourced it to a random studio of, like, a few, like, not that many people. Like, this is just...
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of proves that, like, you can...
I think we got him, Cole.
You can kind of design a game normally and then, like, okay, now we need to figure out how to make it good to play in VR. Like, it doesn't have to be...
It's okay, Ralph.
Yeah.
Like, all completely integrated. Like, you have to, like, have this, like, really huge project.
Mm-hmm.
Did he trap you in there?
He got me. Yeah, we can skip ahead. I really love being in VR and just walking around like the crime scenes and finding all the clues. It's great.
I really want to. This is a Tangerine, but
yeah,
I would love to be like a I guess, yeah, like a Victorian detective, like a lantern.
Oh, guys,
that'd be the best game for
guys,
me.
You can't smash the ball. It loses to Half-Life Alyx, unfortunately, in that respect. No bottle smashing. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, it was so close.
But I would love like a Victorian, a Victorian like late night detective thing with like you have to like carry a lantern, like use like lighting. That'd be my dream experience in VR.
But yeah, there is some like some of the best, I believe, LA Noire cases are in this, and they're amazing in VR. Like, and there's a lot of like the serial killer one's really interesting.
Yeah,
there's like a serial killer one where you start discovering like some woman's been murdered. I think it's like a Hispanic woman's been murdered, and you're like, oh, what's going on here? But then you discover like the blood trails, you find like buckets of blood, like someone's painted the blood trails for you to follow, and it's like it gets like someone's like leaving you clues and stuff like that. There's some like really fucking interesting stuff on it. I feel like if you've never played LA Noire, this is probably, I would say, the best way to experience it in my opinion. And then if you haven't played LA Noire, it got remastered in 2017. Just play the actual LA Noire game. Like, I'm definitely going to do a playthrough of LA Noire now after I've played this to play the case files I didn't get to play in VR.
There's a weird criticism at the time that LA Noire came out saying like it's really easy to know if someone's lying on it. I don't think that's true.
I think the idea was initially it was just spammed out and then you always got what you wanted, but I think they changed that in the remaster.
I think, to be fair, I think later on that you couldn't just do that. I think in the early cases you could get away with that, but it still wasn't like you wouldn't get all the information still. Like you would actually lose out on certain parts of knowing what happened. I think. Yeah, it's not just about always pressing doubt. Like doubt is kind of forgetting information, not confronting.
This is like. You get some of the missions. You go into like Cole's background when he was in like the war.
Oh, right.
And there's like a whole story about like, I don't know if I want to go into spoilers for a 10-year-old game. Not
everyone's played it. But
yeah. But
I haven't played it, so
you don't want to know spoilers. You don't want to spoil it.
No spoilers, please.
Okay.
I mean, it's my fault for not playing it, I guess. But
well, I haven't played LA Noire. I've just played the VR version, so. But I know exactly what happens at the end. That's probably my biggest criticism of LA Noire VR is it's really good, but I wish there was more case files. The whole game. Yeah. Because
I would like seeing this, like I would pay for like the full version. Like it would be really good
Mm-hmm.
if they did that. Maybe the
Well,
pay for more,
there's
more
been
case
like
files.
there's been like rumors and speculation that Rockstar is working on they're like hiring more people for VR stuff. So I would love to see a VR remaster, even if it was just on this level of like Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA 5 or GTA 6 if that ever. I think they said like they're basically going to do GTA Online and GTA 5 for like the next 5 years, and then GTA 6 might come out.
Oh my god.
There's something on the
Okay.
rooftop.
How the hell did you see that?
What? Oh my god.
Reflection in the
I feel like
like
Valve
a
time
record.
is nothing
Let me see if I can
compared
find a way up
to
there.
Rockstar time.
Don't hurt
But like, they need a lot of time to make these games. They're the open.
Yeah.
When it comes
Super
to when it
detailed.
comes to open worlds, I think GTA just does it. Like Rockstar just does it the best, in my opinion.
Well, they take fucking forever, so they should you should hope so, right?
Yeah.
What kind of chumps do these homicide guys think we are?
I'm just gonna watch LA Noire gameplay because it's so good.
Have we got anything else to say about it other than maybe
You can listen
try
to
it out
the
if you don't
radio.
know?
You can listen to the
Oh my
radio,
God.
and
I
it
would.
Keep an eye on him, Ralph.
Do you not just drive around the city for ages, or do you just go straight to?
yeah, and there's like I try to do an achievement which is terrifying in VR, which is there's an achievement for driving a car at 88 miles an hour and sustaining it for like 10 seconds, which is like pretty hard.
Right.
Oh, you don't have to just drive around the cop vehicles. You can like find other vehicles to drive around. I think there's even like a quite a speedy vehicle.
Don't some citizens let you borrow a car?
I don't think you can commandeer vehicles in this
okay.
one. Not in VR, at least. It doesn't seem like.
Not everyone lets you do it. If I remember correctly, not everyone lets you do it. And okay, I really like this scene, by the way. Like, this is like a well set up scene with the lights outside. Like, it's very atmospheric.
So, like, I wish there was more. Like, Half of Alyx has taught me to try and open every single drawer, but in this, there's just I understand that they had to cut back the scale. That it wasn't designed for VR, but it's just. A lot of, like, because when I look at LA Noire on VR, it's actually on sale right now. Oh, no, it's not. Is it on? Yeah, it's actually on sale right now. Okay. So there must be some sort of sale for Rockstar or something. But I look at it and it's got, like, mixed reviews. And the reason it has, like, it has so many mixed reviews is it's mostly people complaining that it doesn't work on, like, the Quest 2. Or something.
Oh, okay, right. But it doesn't say it's. Does it say it's compatible?
No, it doesn't. Literally,
okay.
It literally says it supports the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift, and then I read the reviews and people go, "Oh, it doesn't support the Quest 2. I'm so upset."
I can understand. Like that's an easy thing to miss, but that's not really the game's fault. Like it did actually give you that information.
I think a lot of the people as well, they're like, oh, I completed this in like an hour and stuff, and it's like, well, I think a lot of the people who are saying that have already completed these missions.
Name is in this book.
They already played them before, do you think?
Yeah, I think probably someone who's already played this on PC. I think a lot of the complaints are it doesn't work on my specific VR system that it doesn't say it supports.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't have original Vive or original, Rift. Sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
People saying it's a cutback version. I agree with that.
There's the case that makes you, gives you that leg up, gets you.
Which is fair. It's only 6 missions. If you were buying this expecting the entire game in VR, it is not that. And then the other one is that
This could be the one goal.
was it? Doesn't run in the system. It's not the whole game. And then yeah, I think that's about it. So
LAPD, could you stand clear of the body,
I think like
has anyone called the ambulance?
it's a shame that this appears on the Steam store pages with mixed reviews. I think a lot of the complaints, if they were just a lot of the complaints, if they weren't so many, this doesn't work on my VR system, or oh, it's not the full game, I wanted to play the full game, it would be a positively reviewed game, and I think that may like dissuade people. But from somebody who's played this whole thing and fucking loves it, this is one of my favorite VR games. It's really fucking good. It's a proper VR game.
This wouldn't work on the Index then.
So it's not officially supported, but it may still work.
Right.
I've seen a review of somebody saying it does work on the Index well.
Okay.
Yeah.
This letter seems a bit. There we go.
I love that you can read everything in VR. Like, of course, it just gives you the information, but you can actually read stuff with your eyes and look at stuff with your hands. Like,
yeah, the hand thing is from the base game. It's really good in that as well. Like, you could like go, oh, like you you tap a piece of information, and go, oh, this is useful information. Like it's not. You don't need to do that, but it just like it actually makes you. Well, for me anyway, it makes you remember it more. It's like you remember the tapping. Like I have nostalgia for the tap, man, in Noire. That's kind of insane.
Let's go into the final VR game I played before we finish. I played The Gallery, Episode 1. I was trying to smash the bottles in this as well, Tony. Unfortunately, fortunately they're ghost bottles and they can be smashed. So that's past the Half-Life Alyx test. In the tutorial of this, you can smash the bottles.
Smash the bottle button.
The teleportation in this was really strange. Like this is another early VR game, like 2016. Box? You put down like a box, and then you like rotate the box in the way you want to be facing when you've teleported.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think this was sort of like one of the first like VR narrative games where people were like, "Hey, this is a VR narrative game that's
pretty proper game."
Yeah, like this isn't a tech demo.
Yeah.
Although it is still quite short. Like this game, honestly, I think I have the entire game downloaded and it took me an hour and a half to play. So it is still quite short.
But how fun was the experience?
It was still fun. I mean, I didn't buy this game because basically me and my brother have family sharing. So I play games on his account. Oh, Tony, it's you.
Hello.
There it is.
Tony Talk, man. Okay.
So I did the family sharing with Daniel. I was like, well, because I was just when he let me borrow the Vive indefinitely because I'm never giving it back.
He'd have to rip it from your dead eyes or dead head.
Well, the thing is, basically, he got given the original Quest by his father-in-law, so he has another VR headset that he can plug into his PC. So I don't think he particularly needs it back. So. Yeah, but anyway, what was I saying? I've completely gone off track.
Narrative game, short experience. Yeah. You had fun with it though. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it's a fun little game. It was like one of the first games which was like, hey, you can make a full narrative experience in view. It's the paving stone for Half-Life Alyx, guys, this game. It showed people that VR wasn't just a tech demo. Like, you could legit make a game for VR, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yes...
Isn't it crazy? Like, that's kind of weird to say now that we know you can, but like at the time it wasn't like a done
I feel like it's
deal,
still not crazy to say it now, to be honest with you.
No, but I'm saying that there are actually experiences that like you could like point to and go, yeah, you can make a proper game. Then it was even worse. Like there was none.
Yeah, but if you don't know, the developers of this are Cloudhead Games, and because people always pointed to Cloudhead Games making this. Cloudhead Games then went on to make the Aperture Hands Lab. Valve got them to make the demo for the Index finger tracking, and then after they went on to make Pistol Whip. The John Wick Beat Saber sort of game, which I got recently, which I haven't played yet, but I've got that, and I really want to try that out when it gets a bit cooler, because I'm really looking forward to playing that. So yeah, I think like Cloudhead Games seems like one of the legit VR developers. Like they seem to have only developed like VR games so far. Like they're an actual full-time VR developer.
All of them good?
From the ones that I've played, I don't have an index, but I've heard the Aperture Hands Lab demo is good. I've heard Pistol Whip is really good, and I've played this and I've enjoyed it very much. After playing this, because I completed it, I decided to get the second game on a sale, and apparently the second game is like the mechanics are like massively improved from the first game.
Really? Okay.
Well, this came out in like 2016, like the start of 2016 when VR was new.
Yeah, I guess we've learned a lot until we can.
And then Heart of the Emberstone Colosseum. This is like the second game. This is this came out right at the end of 2017, so like December 2017. So by this point, VR development was a lot further along, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Heart of the Embassy, the Gallery, because there's also because to show off the second game, they also made Heart of the Emberstone Colosseum, which is basically like a slice of the full game where you got to piss about in the Colosseum that you can play for free. So if you're looking at this and you're going, "Oh, this looks kind of interesting," or anything like that, you can try out a slice of the second game completely free just to see what it's like, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. Why is it just firing fireworks?
I'm pissing about. I'm doing what I do in VR. I'm interacting with physics objects inside virtual reality.
Son of the Okay. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, the main story of this is you are like, I think you're like a kid or like a young adult, and one of your friends has gone missing. And you've gone to look for them basically, and there's like an old scientist dude. It's Pickle Rick, and he's
okay.
He's like discovered some sort of weird ancient alien technology in a pit somewhere or something, and you're like, oh, I need to go and interact with him and find out where my friend's gone. That's the main premise of the game, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this is to show you like all of the different options you have. It's pretty basic for VR these days. Oh yeah, that was another thing that I found annoying that changed. Guys, don't make you teleport to where you're looking. It's so much easier to teleport where your hand's pointing. I find head-based movement really like motion sickness inducing.
Yeah, I could imagine that. To be fair, that doesn't sound logical. Like when you like oh, but surely like you're looking where you want to go. But I guess not.
So yeah, I think I maybe spent the most time on the beach. I would say like just figuring out kind of what sort of puzzles I'm supposed to fix or do or whatever. I basically figured out what I was supposed to do, but I couldn't figure out how I was supposed to execute it. So I think I had to like look up exactly how to execute the puzzle to get off the beach.
Yeah.
And then past that point, I didn't need to look anything else up. So I would say like probably the biggest criticism of this game is getting past the first level, like the first part of the beach. It's kind of like hard to know what you're supposed to be doing, like exactly because you can figure out the puzzle yourself.
Point and click logic.
No, it's just it was hard to figure out what the execution was, like what exactly I was supposed to be doing. But once I lit it up, I found from that point on it was fine because I think I looked at the achievements for my brother. I was like, I wonder if Daniel's played this, and I don't think he got past the beach because I don't think he had the achievement for getting past the beach. I was like, I think he just like he probably got stuck where I got stuck, and then was like, I'll play something else. So
yeah,
that's maybe like a barrier of entry. I always talk about like it's important to make the beginning of your game really good because people will get bored and do something else.
Especially if you're like trying like it's meant to like introduce you to how the game is gonna function. Like it's meant to introduce you to almost everything, like the way you play, the way you're meant to think, like the themes, like whether or not you like it or not, whether you want to continue. So yeah, it very important at the start.
But yeah, I guess I'll go into it because it's kind of I guess it's a puzzle game, so I'm gonna get slightly spoilery from here on out before we end.
Right.
So basically, the first, if you don't want to know any more about it, you're like, this looks kind of interesting. Go play it. But the first puzzle is you need to signal the lighthouse in order to let you into the sewer system tunnels. And in order to do that, you need to shoot bells with a flare gun. Which is why I was like, oh, how, in what order am I supposed to shoot these bells? I seem to be like shooting it in the wrong order or something. I was trying to figure that out. And then I was like, wait, I'm not supposed to be shooting this one bell. I'm supposed to be shooting multiple bells. And that's when I was like, oh, okay. I thought there was just one bell. I didn't see the bell behind me or the bell above me at all.
Oh, okay, right, fair enough.
But then once you do that,
Yeah, maybe...
because it was like shoot the bell 3 times. I was like, oh, maybe I have to hit it 3 times in succession. And I was like,
yeah, it should. Does it not say shoot the bell, all 3 bells or something? That'd make it clearer.
It's like a cryptic like message in like the center area. I mean, it's a puzzle game. One thing I will say about puzzle games is puzzle games are always more annoying in VR if you can't figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Which is why I want to play the Talios Principle, but I'm always hesitant because I'm like, I kind of want to play the VR version, but I feel like if I get like stuck in a puzzle in VR, I'm just gonna want to quit, sort of thing. Because like just standing around in VR, it can be like pretty tedious and exhausting.
Yeah.
So
like if I remember the game, I thought that I hope people didn't get stuck too often. I thought it was one of the better ones. I can't remember now though.
So found a crank and an audio tape, and that's how you sort of start to solve the first puzzle. Then there's like the whole sewer system maze you go through. I don't know. Should I just end it here, or should I go into? I have the entire game basically.
Do you want to talk about the story, or do you just want to?
It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
It's intriguing.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to play this game anytime soon, so.
Basically, you go into sewers and you basically find Pickle Rick, and he's basically like, "I'm over here and you're over there. Get on this roller coaster ride and basically fix a bunch of stuff that's breaking." There's like a weird alien artifact down this hole, and then you basically have a conversation with it. It's pretty cool. Like the little puzzles you solve with like electrical components and stuff. There's like a logic puzzle here where you have to. Oh, it's in like you go into like zero gravity area down here, and you have to like use this attractor gun to attract these capacitors to you, and then you have to use them to solve this logic puzzle to unlock the artifact. And each capacitor has a different value, and you need to make each of these. You see the each color wire that it's attached to go up to a certain value to unlock each of these bars to get to the artifact.
Yeah.
You finish the puzzle. This puzzle was kind of hard to do at first, so that one may take you a while.
Yeah, so that's the thing, key puzzle.
Taking the artifact takes you onto this alien spaceship.
Aliens?
And then there's like, I am a bad man, I am an evil man. And then your hand gets like turned into like an alien device.
Okay.
And you're like, what the fuck's going on? My hand's now an alien device. And then that's part 1. It's like, well, now you've got to play part 2 to figure out what the fuck is happening. And then it goes into Doctor Who.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. That is Call of the Starseed, the gallery. I think there was only ever 2 parts, but I haven't played part 2 yet. I've played the full part 1.
Are you going to play part 2?
I have it purchased. I fully intend to play part 2.
Okay.
Because part 2 looks like it's a lot better in terms of like the VR technology and stuff. And depending on how long the second part is, we will see about whether it is worth recommending.
Part 2 sounds more interesting as a premise. I realized part 1 is the setup and like what the hell's going on, but I'm interested in part 2 now.
But we'll have to see. It's an intriguing game. We'll have to see more. It's a nice like look back at early VR technology and the sort of games that is definitely still worth playing. So yeah, definitely check those out if you've been interested in any of the VR games that I've shown so far. Definitely check those out if you have a VR system at home, because I would highly recommend all of them. And that is the Tangerine on what I've been doing on VR. I've been playing Electronauts. Electronauts is really good. And Ragnarok. Play Ragnarok as well. That's not as good as Electronauts, but it's still pretty good. Goodbye.
Bye.